Hello and welcome to today's English lesson. My name is Stuart. In today's lesson, we're looking at the present perfect and the past simple and when we use these two tenses. Let's go to the intro. Now, as I said, the focus of today's lesson is the present perfect or the past simple when we use each one. Now, for a lot of learners, this is difficult to choose, and it's really not that difficult when you consider that there are some basic rules that we use in order to use one or the other. There can be some confusing times, but in general, the rule is fairly clear when we use a simple past and when we use a present perfect. So we'll look firstly at the present perfect. And the present perfect is used to connect between the past and the present, okay? So there's something happened in the past, there's a relation with what's happening now in the present, and there's an overlapping time. That part in the middle is the present perfect, okay? So it's the connection between the past and the present in the middle, okay? So the connection between the past and the present, and also when there's no specific time reference given, we normally tend to use the present perfect tense, okay? So remember, connection between the past and the present, and when there's no specific time reference. And by that I mean yesterday, this morning, last month, in 1992, for example. Now, let's have a look at these two examples here. So we have, Fred has broken his arm, so he can't play in the game, okay? So he broke his arm in the past. There's a connection with the present because he can't play in the game today, so he has broken his arm, so he can't play in the game. That's the connection between the two, okay? Now there's no time reference. If I said if I said Fred broke his leg last week, so he can't play in the game, there's a time reference. So we wouldn't use the present perfect. But here, no time reference, connection to the present, so we use the present perfect tense. Second example, their train has arrived, so they should be with us soon. Okay? The train has arrived, so they should be with us soon. All right? There's a relation between the past, the train arrived, and there's a connection with the present. So the train has arrived, so the people on the train should be with us soon, okay? We're waiting for them. Now the present perfect is often used with ever, yet, just, before, etc., okay? So if we have one of these, ever, yet, just, before, normally we're going to use the present perfect tense, okay? I say normally because you could hear some exceptions. There's always exceptions, but normally the general rule is with these ones, the present perfect tense. So, I have never been to Italy, or I've never been to Italy before. We could also say, I have never been to Italy, okay? And she has just eaten lunch. She's just eaten lunch, or she hasn't eaten lunch yet, okay? We could use that there as well. So with these ones here, remember the present perfect tense. And for here, present perfect tense, when we're answering the question, how long something's been going on for, okay? How long has Jeff been going out with Sally? How long? How long has he been going out with her? Or this example, David has lived in London for 10 years, okay? We're using the present perfect tense. I know that he continues to live in London. David is still living in London. If there was a past simple, David lived in London for 10 years with no has, it would mean that it's a finished event and he doesn't live there anymore. But this tells me that he's still living there. So how long has he been living there? 10 years, all right? He continues to live there. Or how long has he lived in London? 10 years. Now the past simple, let's have a look. Something that started and finished in the past. Started and finished in the past. That's the basic rule. So, I went to New Zealand in 1991. I went to New Zealand in 1991. It's been and gone. It's finished. Here's the time reference, 1991. Fred broke his arm at training last week. Okay, so we see that Fred has broken his arm, but he broke his arm at training last week. Time reference. I spent all my childhood in Australia. I spent all my childhood in Australia. Now, technically, there's no time reference here, but we know that my childhood has finished, so I spent all my childhood in Australia. Okay, so it's a started and finished event, my childhood. And this one here, when he saw his boss, he told her he wanted a raise. So when we're talking about stories or events in the past, okay, even though there's no time reference, we're going to be using here the past simple tense for the story or for the description of something in the past, okay? So I went to Australia and I saw my parents, okay? There's no time reference, but I'm just relating a story that happened, or I'm just giving you a description about something that happened. Now, thank you very much for watching the lesson. Remember to leave a comment or question below if you have one. If you have a doubt, for example, please leave a comment below. Remember to share the video on social media, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Google+, even on Pinterest. Give it a pin, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Have a good day. Bye.